came up to
Like, there's our
starting.
bar stools, right?
Yeah, that fits us.
Sure, but okay, all right. These AI things. I'm gonna send you a link for another one. There's like this AI like video creating one. Um, that I'm gonna send you a link to. It's free. But I just
Create
want to see
video.
if yeah, it does like AI video and shit.
Interesting.
So yeah, and I figured you would. So it's like I have um, it lets you play with it and see what you come up with because it's prompt based. But I've seen some people play with it. It's like they've got some pretty cool stuff that they've done with it. So
Hmm.
AI is a thing, man. It just is what it is. I think we've talked about AI movies and stuff like that, which we'll get into another time. But AI is a thing. It's here.
Oh, it is. It
Even when I
definitely
use
is.
Google, it's like the first answer is an AI answer now.
All right. Let's see. I can never pull this up online. I try to use my laptop for this shit. Why? Because, at least I got a big screen in front of me.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, it's I do like I said, this AI thing, and half the time they don't even spell a lot of things correctly, and it's
Yeah.
fucking hilarious to me. So
I don't even know how you even achieved this.
it's like so what I do, and I do this with the same thing with the Soto and Chad show, which you'll see a few coming up. So this was like, I write the text starting soon, and I put it. If you look, there's not even an I. I think I just chose the wrong one. I'm looking. There's no fucking I
Oh my
in this
God.
one. I just all of a
There's
sudden noticed
no.
this one.
I didn't even
But all
notice
right,
until you said
so
it.
this proves my point about this fucking AI thing. But my what was I gonna say? So anyhow, the text starting soon, and I put that in caps, and then I'm like in a certain style logo. So like, depends on what we might be talking this week, like the Star Wars logo. And so this I'm like in a debate style logo. So a lot of the Soda and Chads you're going to see in a very debate kind of way. Um, so that's what it is. But
I just don't get the stools. I just don't know how the stools got into there. Because like imagine we're debating on these two different like podiums. Are we taking a break to sit down in front of the podiums, like, and debate face to face?
well, we're old. I do think we need to take a break. So you
Oh,
know,
trust me, based on my back issues, yeah, absolutely. Now I got to start fucking. Now, this is how old I am. I have to now get up in the morning and do fucking like cobra stretches and fucking like yoga just to be able to walk around.
hmm.
Yeah, yeah, that's my life now. I'm gonna have to stretch for like way more than it. So you wake up, you just turn on the body, and you just go. But now it's like, no, now you gotta work for it. Otherwise, if you just throw it out there in the world, you could just throw your back out doing absolutely nothing.
Welcome to being old. All
Oh,
right.
dude, it sucks.
We're going to get this started now that I'm kind of situated and stuff like that. And we are now watching, you were watching that. This is the Soto and Chad show.
Sure
Basically,
is.
we've been doing live podcasts and this one we kind of have some fun debate issues. This just started coming up because we had some interesting conversations that you want to talk about, and some of them we'll actually debate. Some of them we'll probably more discuss. But with what's going on in the world, yes, we're calling this dumb debates.
Dumb
There's
debates.
nothing political, nothing going on here. Literally, these debates
No,
are going to be
I
very stupid
promise.
questions. Yes, and I definitely said on Twitter, or excuse me, X, a few of them, just promoting the shit. But anyhow, obviously with me is Soto, and
Hmm.
Soto, before we get started, anything else you need to get off your chest before we get into this? You just mentioned old man. Is this, you pumped? You ready? What's going on with you lately?
Yeah, I again, like I was saying, I just can't believe I have to like limber up now just to go outside in the world. So yeah, I never understood what people said about back problems. I never was like, oh, back problems. Like, I can relate to that. But now I definitely can relate. And I'm sorry. It is awful. And I'm sorry for making fun of anybody. But getting old is a real thing. And guess what? Not controversial. But if you're lucky, it'll happen to you too.
Yeah. It
If you're
happens.
lucky, you get to have back problems in your 40s. Because you spent your whole life not activating your core. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm an indoor kid. I've always been an indoor kid. Probably you are too. And only now in my late 30s and early 40s have I started like going outside and doing runs and walks and things of that nature. So my body's like doesn't know what to do with this. And just kind of bending over and picking things up like can just absolutely ruin like your day. So that's going on with me. Just old man stuff.
Yeah, that's. I wish there's something new going on here for me, but nope. Just same old shit. I'm playing games like we always do, and that's really about it. So,
Any new
uh,
movies you've watched, Chad?
no,
Any new
but
movies?
I know new
Any new
movies, but I
releases?
started a new series. Well, I shouldn't say new
Oh,
series because newer because
but
I've
a
yet to watch it
series.
because I've been rewatching. First of all, before I get into the new series, I used to watch a lot of BBC shows. I'm big on Doctor Who,
Yes, you
and
are.
there's one that was called Primeval, which I watched. It kind of ended abruptly after 4 seasons, and it left on a cliffhanger. I'm like, "Fuck, it's
Oh, I
over."
hate that.
Then I found out because I have Peacock. I'm like, "Oh, there was a fifth season." So I'm like, it has been a while, so I'm rewatching those episodes again, kind of getting back. It was a fun little sci-fi show. Not the greatest special effects, but I liked it. Basically,
Hmm.
um, this team, those no anomalies happened. So things from like the past, like dinosaurs, are coming present day age. So this team is trying to close the anomalies. Obviously, sci-fi, a lot of shenanigans. I'm not going to get in the whole thing, but what happened was I was trying to start the next episode, and for some reason, Peacock just gave me the Puss in Boots thing image and said something went wrong. Something. So I'm like, shit, did Peacock go down? Everything else worked except for the show. So I'm like, well, I kind of want to watch something this morning. So literally, this morning I watched the first 4 episodes of Twisted Metal. I got into
Twisted
Twisted Metal.
Metal. What the
Yeah.
fuck is Twisted Metal?
Don't you remember the video game Twisted Metal?
Of course.
They did. You did not know they did a TV show about it with Anthony Mackie. Also,
No, that sounds horrifying. I
oh, it's
don't.
great.
What's
It
a
is.
what?
It's an awesome show. It is so
Oh
much
my
fun.
God, this is what I get for asking you what you want. Twisted Metal?
Twisted Metal.
That was actually a show? What
You
is it on?
didn't.
Amazon or
It's on.
like what is this on?
It's on Peacock. I might be sorry. Let me adjust my
It's
headsets here.
Peacock. Is that
Peacock.
Peacock and Paramount like the same thing to me? Peacock's a different one, right?
They're two different ones. Yeah,
It's like NBC.
we got
Yeah.
Peacock mainly. I mean, there's a few things, and I love it because it has every Saturday Night Live episode ever. So we were watching shit,
Wow.
but anyway, we got it because Jill wanted to watch Chicago Med, and there's like 9 seasons, and we even watched like the old school Punky Brewster. So there's a lot of things on Peacock, and FYI, WWE's on it. If we ever
Ooh.
get to that first WrestleMania, that's what
That's
we
enticing.
might, anyhow. Yeah, so Twisted Metal, they're just like they're only half an hour episodes, 30, 40 minutes. So, yeah, I busted out 4 this morning.
How
Anthony
old is the
Mackie,
show?
a year, not even
What?
2. I would have to look it up, and I don't want to get I mean, not that I
A
spoil it.
spoiler alert? Is that what you were just about to say?
Yeah,
I,
I
I
stay
couldn't be
away.
spoiled on this.
No, I was more talking
I
about
don't
me.
fucking care.
I was not. I was more talking about me than you. Uh, Release date. Let me see
You'd
if
have
I.
to spoil it for me to even have a glimmer of interest in
It
watching
hasn't.
something
It's
like
been
this.
almost a year. July 27th, 2023.
Is this
All
a
10
Peacock
episodes.
exclusive?
Yes, released,
Okay, that's
premiered on
why. Because I don't
Peacock.
even know about Peacock. So I'm like, what the fuck is Peacock? Like, the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, I
No
love. I
idea about
love it.
that. We'll
No,
get into that later.
yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, if we ever do the
My
first
opinions about
WrestleMania,
that.
all right, streaming services, I know, but that's why we got Peacock. We got Peacock mainly because Jill wanted to watch Chicago Med. I'm like, all right, and she's been going in that show. There's also like Chicago Fire, Chicago
Hmm.
PD. Coincidentally, had nothing to do with me. They're all Chicago. But anyhow, yeah. So we got Peacock. It was cheap, but yeah. So I
Chicago.
kind of was flipping through. And I was like, oh, yeah, Twisted Metal. Some people, Mel told me good things about it. And I'm like, I'll give it a shot. So I watched, like I said, I
Ugh.
busted out the first 4 episodes. It's fucking funny. It's over, it's not really, I mean, there is violence. And it is, I guess I shouldn't say
I
there's
would
not.
hope so.
When there's violence, there's over the top violence. But there's not a
Yeah.
lot of it. It's just great. And those who don't know who Anthony Mackie is, he plays Falcon in the Captain America Marvel movies. He also lost a rap battle to Eminem and 8 Mile, but I
He
love him.
did. I mean, he didn't really try, but he did. Yeah.
Yeah, and
He
so far I
gets
also
he
know
gets
there's
anything.
Thomas Hayden Church is in this, and Will
Oh
Arnett's in it as
God.
well. So
Thomas
it's
Hayden
definitely
Church.
a funny cast of characters and crazy. So yeah, I started that. So only 10 episodes. So I'll probably finish that up with the next week because they're pretty easy to get through. So
Did
yes,
anybody ask for a Twisted Metal movie? Like, who asked for this? Was there like an audience for
it
this?
must have been. It was up there as one of the most watched things when it came out last year, and
Really?
I
Peacock, huh?
think there's a second season coming too because of the
Oh,
success of the
sweet God
first one.
Almighty.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
look, I haven't seen a single trailer of it, so I guess I won't shit on it until. But the idea, like, if somebody were to pitch me the idea in an elevator, I'd be like, "Get the fuck off this elevator! I don't know who you are. This is a marginal game to me that I may have played once or twice. I don't understand why
they
this would need a narrative to it, but sure."
I'll be honest. I've never played the games. I think I might have rented one. Like I might have played it, but I never beat any. Got into the series or anything like that. I know who Sweet Tooth is,
Yeah, that's
but
the clown one, right? You and your fucking
correct.
clowns, right? You're in your clown age right now.
I am. What else have I? What other? Oh yeah, Killer Clowns. Never mind. You win.
Yeah,
I'll give you that one.
I do. I win the first debate. 1-0.
I'm going to give this to no. Yeah, because
Hope the other debates go like that. You win.
no, there's going to be no one. No, I didn't know how they would do the narrative for this, but there's an easy story to it. Basically, they gotta give you the premise, and it's like, okay, it's not over convoluted. And oh yeah, Nev Campbell's in it too, which I was like,
Oh,
I
I
didn't even know
remember
that.
her.
All of a sudden,
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, it'll be interesting how. But yeah, so if you get a chance, we'll talk about it because I do want you to watch the first WrestleMania. So I want,
Oh, I do
even
too.
if you came over, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
But
I can watch
yeah,
the first WrestleMania. I could get Peacock. Sure, there's a trial I could get.
I'm sure we'll get to that, but yeah, Twisted Metal definitely is a good show, and I started it, and I know I'm going to finish it. So it's not like a show, you see an episode or two, you're like, like Child's Play. I know me and Jill started it, and then it was okay. Then it got funny, talking about a Chucky, TV series, like it got really weird and not in a good way. So I'll just leave it at that.
I mean, like,
I mean,
I
it's a
remember the
killer doll.
movies.
The movies were
Remember
fine. I mean,
Jennifer Tilly and
she was
Chucky and Bride of
she
Chucky.
kind of came later in the movie. She was like the fourth, but yes, she revived. So, yeah, but my point was we didn't stick with the show. I might go back, but like I said, I instantly Twisted Metal next episode, Twisted Metal next episode. Every time it ended, I'm like,
Okay.
yeah. So I liked it. It's over the top violence. It is fun, and the narrative isn't bad. It makes sense for that post-apocalyptic world. So I'm
Okay.
like, oh, okay. I mean, I'll give a quick premise. Obviously, there are all these new societies, and if you're part of, you either stay in, they keep basically certain people in the walls, or everyone outside the walls. You don't go in.
Oh,
Anthony
classic.
Mackie is what they call a milkman. He basically makes the delivery between the cities. He's not allowed in, but he's good at it. That's where the racing the cars are in. Blah blah blah. Basically, it's like new. They call it New San Francisco. She wants this. She wants him to make this delivery. She has to go pick up, bring it back. No questions asked. He can't know what he's picking up. He's got 10 days. He
Oh,
has to go,
yeah.
but he has to go to New Chicago. And he's like, I never go that far. And obviously, once you get past like a certain area, like it gets dangerous. And she's like, well, if you can do this, I will let you be a citizen of New San Fran, which is what a lot of them dream of. He's like, he's never been on the inside. So he's like, this is it. I don't have to worry about dying every day. So yes, the whole process is him going to New Chicago and back. So that's the easy story. And then it's basically the characters he meets along the way. And yes, obviously Sweet Tooth is the poster boy because anyone who's played this knows it. And it is fucking hilarious. Sweet Tooth is perfect. And everything I imagined it would be, and it's just enough of a crazy clown. So, but yes, if you get a chance, Twisted Metal, it came out 1 year ago. It's actually really amazing. I love it. So,
Wow, I had no idea that I was going to be like interested in watching a fucking adaptation of Twisted Metal at the start of this podcast. But now I'm like, okay, I at least am going to watch the trailer now because of your passionate defense of it. So I'm like, well, shit, maybe there's something to it. And also, you know what? I'm not going to shit on you for watching something new. Because I know that this is a new thing for you.
will
so
I go for a new
I'm glad
movie?
you're
No. Will I
joining
go
the
for
present.
10 hours of episodes of TV show? Fuck yeah.
You're like, because it's at your pace. Because you're like, I could stop this like after 45 minutes. I could be like, you
A
know what?
2 hour movie? No, fuck
I'm
that.
done.
10 hours
But
worth
you're
of a
like, 2
show, I'm
hours.
in.
You're like, I will binge this all in a row, and I'll waste the next 6 hours. But 2 hour movie, I do not have time for that. I do not have time. That's the only way I watch Lord of the Rings. I just break Lord of the Rings up now in like hour-long segments, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch the first episode of Lord of the Rings today, and it's like the first movie, Fellowship of the Ring, because I only watch the extended editions, and I watch like an hour, and I'm like, okay, cool, that's done. Time to go to bed. I'll watch the next episode tomorrow, because I just cannot I cannot like commit myself to wasting 3 hours. But if I have the illusion of choice,
hours.
I'll certainly do it.
But you're going to watch Cobra Kai, which is going to be 5 hours right there. So,
yeah, I sure. Well, I got to know, where
we
this
got to finish this
drawn-out
off.
road
Yes,
goes.
yes.
It's like it's been a long time.
So before we get our first topic, Hank, welcome to the chat.
Welcome, Hank.
Yeah, talked with Hank a little bit. I was actually in someone else's stream, Cynic, who I play Rocket League with, and met up with Hank a little bit. So we debated candy bars, but that might come up another day. But anyhow, welcome.
Like which one's
what the best candy bar is, and he brought up and I can't do Reese's. I hate Reese's, but I get the appeal to it. But yeah, so
Reese's
between
candy bar.
I considered it. Yes, it is. But Mel wanted to do a podcast with like favorite foods and candy bars she brought up, and I was talking to Cynic about this, and that's how all this started. I'm like, maybe one day we'll do a food podcast. Best candy bar, best cereal, best this, best that, best.
Well, like, wait, you don't like Reese's peanut butter cups? Is that what
I can't? I don't like chocolate. I don't like. Yes, cups. I mean,
okay.
But Reese's peanut butter cups is considered in the candy bar category in a way.
Oh, bullshit.
I don't. Well, I don't know, and I don't care, because Reese's could disappear, and I'd be fine with it.
This is like hot dog is a sandwich fucking bullshit. I'm like, there's just like an objective
It is not
answer.
a sandwich.
It's just not a sandwich. It's just not. And you can go ahead and start saying that. I'll believe you. Maybe the world is a simulation, but with this hot dog sandwich stuff, just shut the fuck up. It's a hot dog bun. It's not a sandwich. Just shut the fuck up.
I'm with you. I agree.
It.
And my wife will tell you that a hot dog is a sandwich. She'll die on that too. So I'm not. That is a debate for another day. I mean, we're already debating about shit. We haven't even got to our first topic. But yes, anyhow, I quickly told the story to Mel. Like, I don't do Reese's because I got sick from them when as a kid, chocolate and peanut butter. And I used to love Reese's Pieces because of E.T., but now I don't do it anymore. So Reese's can disappear. I'm a Milky Way guy. That's probably my favorite.
I love Reese's Pieces. I love peanut butter and chocolate mixed together. It's fucking great. But wait, which one do you say?
I love Milky Way. I'm just saying, if I had to pick a favorite candy bar, I would say Milky Way. I love that.
Milky Way's like so soft in the middle. It's like, is that the one with nougat or some shit like that? I don't even know what the fuck nougat is.
It's basically a chocolate, but yeah, no, I think like Three Musketeers has more of the nougat flavor, and then Snickers.
Like Kit Kats are pretty good, I think.
I do like a Kit Kat. I love Kit Kats.
I could crush a Kit Kat.
I love it. I love a lot of candy bars. I just care less about Reese's. They could be number 10 in the top 10 for all I care. They could disappear, and I'm like, I wouldn't notice. But that's just me.
Even Almond Joy? Like, you like Almond Joys and shit?
I prefer Mounds, but Almond Joys are okay. Because Almond Joys has the almonds, obviously. The nuts.
Yeah.
The Mounds, Almond Joys has nuts, Mounds don't. But yeah, I'm not a coconut fan, like in certain areas.
I think you are. I just can't picture you eating coconut. But you like coconut more than you like peanut butter and chocolate mixed together.
Correct. Oh,
Wow.
Coconut. I like coconut and caramel drinks, and I'm just like, I don't get it, but I do like a Mounds bar, and I do love dark chocolate. So anything that's dark chocolate brings it to the next level for me.
I love it. You're like, I don't get this. It's like a math problem. It's like, I don't get it. It's complicated. It scares me.
Oh my god!
I know. I'm right there with you. Trust me. The world is scary and confusing. Especially the older I'm getting, I'm finding out that this is true. I'm like, everything's fucking scary and confusing. Was it always this way?
Yes. I mean, don't you know the joke? When we were kids in the 80s, that was the whole thing. I see it on TikToks now. They're like, they had to remind parents in the 80s that they had kids. Do you remember 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
Like, it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Do you know where your kids are at? They did that because people forgot they fucking had kids, are more or less the real reasons, because kids got snatched. And they're just like, are your kids? Because that's the thing. You don't come home till the streetlights come on. You this and that. It's so
course,
different. So
yeah.
yes, the world was always just scary in a different way. We didn't have the social media problems or this and that a lot of kids nowadays have, but we have
Kids don't go
realistic.
out these days, do they? I don't think they even that's the thing with COVID, is that COVID came into a point, and of course, I defer to anybody else who's an educator who has more experience with this. But like, I feel like kids in COVID like learned to be even more inside than ever. Like, because COVID like happened like right in the middle of like some people going through like the like very beginning of high school and shit like that, right? Like kids had
Hmm.
to grow up in a crazy ass time that you and I did not have to. And it's like,
Correct.
I don't know. I feel like do they even go out? I mean, I still see kids like kicking around in the fucking neighborhood and shit like that, but I don't know.
I mean, they must.
I
I
really don't
mean,
know.
but it is different, and like I said, is it still? It's just scary. Everything is just different, but the same. Just is it scary? Yes, just in different ways. So,
Always.
but
Yeah, there's
anyhow,
spiders out there.
welcome Hank if you're still listening. But yes, I met Hank. We were chit chatting in another live stream. So, if he's still here, thank you for stopping by. But Soto and
Absolutely.
Chad here with Dumb Debates, and that's where we're
Dumb
going. So we are
debates. We're here
going to
already.
our first topic, and the first topic is one that you brought up, and this is a very interesting one. And you asked if video games have peaked, and I kind of
Yeah.
want you to explain that because I thought about this a little bit, and I have certain thoughts. But why did you ask this question or ask me this question? Why did you want this to be? Why do you think video games have peaked? Because I'm assuming you think this because you brought it up. So.
Yeah, well, but I don't necessarily think I do or I don't. I think that I've thought about it. I was actually talking to my brother-in-law about this when I saw him recently, very briefly, and it got me thinking because he was like, "Do you think that the games are coming out are better than the ones that came out before now, like thus and less?" Because like when we were younger, this pretty much should be the name of our fucking podcast. Um, it's like that should be just the name of this channel. It's like back in the '80s. Um, but when we were younger, it's like every generation of consoles that would come out would be like it would feel like it was leaps and bounds from what it was before. And from like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Master System, Genesis, so on and so forth. Every time something came out, you're like, oh my god! And then PlayStation 1 came out, and it's like, okay, fucking, this looks great. We've had this conversation before about how we used to go to the arcades because it had better graphics at the arcades, and so you would get a different experience in the arcade that you couldn't replicate at home. So I just felt that that just kept continuing on, and even between PlayStation 3 and then PlayStation 4 is even better. It's like, and I have a PlayStation 5. It's fantastic. But like the games that come out, like yeah, they're a little bit more like photorealistic. Yeah, they're a little bit more like interesting. But it doesn't seem to be like like the leaps are being made like they used to be made. And I think that that's probably what my brother-in-law was kind of trying to get at. And him and I probably would have talked about it more, um, had we had the time. But like I think it's just like the gap of innovation is getting less and less. And so you have these games that come out, and it's like, not just from graphics, but gameplay as well. I feel like there's only so many ways that you can do a game now. RPGs are either going to be turn-based, or they're going to be action, or they're going to be open world, or they're going to be like text-heavy, or I don't know. It's like I feel like it's been done. So this might be another sign of just growing old, but it just doesn't feel to me like it's progressing like it used to. Um, Yeah, ultimately, I feel like there's a cap for graphics, right? Like, they get to a point of graphics where it's like photorealism. Okay, well, nothing can happen after that, right? Like once it's photorealistic, like that's what we've always wanted. To be like, oh, these graphics are so realistic. Like I've had people come over and me just playing Madden and being like, is this a real game? And I'm like, no, it's not. Because I'm a jaded gamer and I'm like, clearly there's pixels on here. What are you talking about? But for people like, who don't play video games, they're like, oh my God, these games are like so realistic. So that's really what got me thinking about it. I still think that there are innovative games and games that come out that excite me, but there's nothing, it's very rare that I'll buy a game and pay full price. It's just rare. I talk about it all the time. It's not so much because I can't afford it. Because honestly, I can. I could definitely afford $20 games and $25 games. But I just don't because I'm like, I don't feel like I have to. There's not like a FOMO or like an excitement about it, really. Helldivers was one that I was like following closely, and thankfully we were lucky enough to get it. Um, but I don't know. Like that's what got me thinking about it. I'm just interested to think if you have the same kind of opinion or not.
Well, it's funny. Before I go on with my thoughts, cynic in our chat kind of brought up a good point. He's like, I don't think peak is the right word, but he does think we are in a slump, at least for mainstream games, and he thinks that indie games are actually at an all-time high for quality now, which I can understand that. So
Sure.
when you brought up this question, I was just thinking, and I actually, funny thing is, I went online and I looked at like every generation of video game systems because I
Hmm.
think I'm kind of agreeing with you because if you look at what's called the first generation, the Odyssey, second generation, it went up, the Atari, and so on, like you kind of went through all that. And between the eighth and ninth, we went from PS4 to PS5, and while the graphics look better, yes, the consoles, it's not anything big. It's not anything different. But is it? I don't know if games at peak because there is storytelling in games, and that for me
Sure.
personally, that's what grabs me about it as a good game. Now, if you look at two games that I beat this year, PlayStation 5 only games, Final Fantasy 16, which is one of the best in the series, one of the more adult themed ones, which is fucking awesome, which I still will lend to you soon, Soto, next time I see you. And then Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. So the storytelling's there, and there is some great mainstream games. I just don't think there's enough consoles or just enough. I don't know how to say it. It's just I don't think people are just into gaming, especially now. The big thing is a lot of people mobile gaming. I feel like
Yeah.
that's taken away from a lot of people as well. Because, how easy is it? You just sit on your couch, you can play slots or whatever games. Well, you have the TV on the background and stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me. I don't know if video games at peak because, like you said, I still think there's things that they can do that hasn't been done. And I know that's weird to say, but there's a time who would have thought VR? And I know not everyone does VR. I tried it and it looks amazing, but it's not something like I can't do VR every day. But VR looks amazing. But remember when the Wii came out? The Wii
Hmm.
was just the
It's
motion
huge.
controls. Yeah. And everyone's like,
It's
holy
huge.
shit, this, they finally did it right. Cause they tried and, PlayStation has kind of done that with their controllers and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think they've peaked. I just don't think there's been a lot of video game titles, and I don't know if this is just the after effects from COVID and stuff like that, and not a lot of people are working on titles and shit like that, or it took a while. So I don't
Well,
know. Go ahead.
here's like what I think is probably my biggest problem with games right now, and it's not a unique one. But there is no incentive for any of these companies to go away from subscription-based fucking gaming or models or like, the DLC stuff that's it. Like the microtransaction shit that's in games right now is it's a huge part of everything that's going on. I don't play Fortnite, but I imagine that there's some level of microtransactions in that if you want to, right? Which people do, but like I remember reading about so Grand Theft Auto, the last one, Grand Theft Auto 5 was supposed to be, have a little more DLC, whatever, but they just got so into the microtransactions of the DLC, they had no reason to do it because they just made easy money. So I just look at that situation and I'm just like, I feel like video game companies, yes, there always is going to be the fringe that like is fighting for like the indie kind of thing and everything like that and like doing their own thing and doing really great things, but there's going to be a lot of big companies that are just going to be like, this is the easiest way for us to do this. We're going to charge you for A, B, and C, or like cosmetics or anything like that, because they make money off of that, because kids will go to their parents and make them buy it. So like the big
Yeah.
companies are not incentivized to fucking do anything about it, because the kids are always going to spend money on shit. They're always going to go to the parents and ask for extra points or whatever the fuck they get. And I'm way out of touch with it, so I apologize. But like, you know what I mean? Like as a company, like I don't feel like big video game companies are ever going to back away from that. Um, and I think that's kind of tough. I mean, even DLCs now. I mean, fuck, games that cost $70 now, brand new.
Yeah, yeah. In general, yeah. And I
You
know
know
me
what
and
I
you are
mean?
cheap, and we've talked about this. Like, it's tough to pay $70 for a game. So yeah.
It's like, and I get that with the cartridges, like back in N64 days, they were also like $70, but it made sense. You had this big bulky plastic cartridge that you had to actually make, and it was expensive at the time. But these are like discs that are not that expensive, so it's tough to. And I get it. I do want like good working conditions for people in these industries as well, because I know there's a lot of issues with crunch. But like, I don't know. This subscription thing, I think, is one thing where, it may keep it from going there. But, thankfully there are like the indies and like other companies that are doing it right. And, hopefully they'll continue to do so. But, like with Larian, who did Baldur's Gate 3, they're not going to do the next Baldur's Gate because they don't agree with like the people who own the Baldur's Gate, like Dungeon Dragons, like fucking IP. You know what I mean? So they'll continue to do good games, and that's fine. But I don't know. Like they won't do another Baldur's Gate game, which is kind of too bad because I don't know. That was a pretty good game. So that's me on my just subscription kind of like bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree. And I know there's some, one of our topics we're going to get to later. So, with the physical media and stuff like that, because, some of that just tied in, talking about DLC. But before we continue this, I've been, Cynic here has a lot of questions, and I want to read you a couple of these and just add to the debate. So if I'm going on, he says he still thinks there's room for massive growth. Virtual taste, smell, feel could potentially be way better than real. Also, time dilation, complete immersion, belief suspension. That isn't, a way to extend, I guess, VR. But I don't know. I mean, we just don't know what the next wave of games. Because I do believe there's just going to be something that comes along. Because it always happens, every, so on that. We're just like, holy shit, I never thought about this, and it just fucking works.
True. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, to that all, that all sounds nice. I mean, we've wanted virtual reality. Virtual reality so far, I mean, I don't know. It's been kind of a miss, right? It hasn't been like a huge thing. So I wouldn't say it's a complete miss, but I'm just saying that it's not as huge as it could have been. Because we always thought, even when we were kids, like VR would be something that we'd be super, super interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So smell, all that stuff, that's great. How far away is that from now? Like, is that around the corner? Like, is that going to be PlayStation, PlayStation 6? Like,
7,
what's PlayStation, like, in your opinion right now, what do you think PlayStation 6 is going to bring to the table?
I don't know, but I couldn't really think of what PlayStation 5 was going to bring to the table.
Just a little bit better graphics, right?
Correct. I mean, that's pretty much all it's done. I feel like there's more, the hardware is there, especially for those who do share factory and editing. And I feel like if they make it more into PC and can do a little bit more things online, can help. There's way, and I know I'm not a PC gamer, and I'm pretty sure obviously, I don't know if you ever have been. I know you're not now, but
no.
I'm sure there's PC games which kind of can get more of a audience interaction or audience help, just something different. Because I recall certain games where, like, if they type something in, I can't explain it, and I'm probably just not thinking straight, but I don't know. I think because I don't know where I was going with it, but I just feel the PlayStation, I don't know the next stop, but I feel like the hardware needs to do something a little bit more that it can do now, because there's some things that I try to do as far as editing or online with YouTube and streaming that the PlayStation can't do and it won't allow us to do. So maybe it's just something to take gaming at a whole new level. As far as VR goes, I loved it. Jill had a few VR games and we were doing it for a while. It just takes so long to set up, and it's, we just don't want to keep it in front of the TV too, so we kept putting it away. Now it's like, yeah, whatever. It was fun, but it's nothing that we're going to be playing every time. So I don't know, unless they can get like a portable VR, just some helmet that you just put on and it's quick, it's there. That'd be the next step for VR. But like I said, I don't know what PSX. I don't want to think about PSX. I just want games. I just want to play, and I'm slowly going through my backlog, and there's still games I feel I want to play. That's why I don't think they've peaked. I don't think there's a full slump of, video games right now, because there's still things
I
on
like
play.
the slump idea. Yeah, the slump idea I can get behind, because it's just kind of like an in-between place. It's kind of just like we're in between the last thing and the new thing, and it's like undetermined how long this is going to last for,
Yeah. So, all right. So he said limitations of PS5 are not hardware based. The software could be added. The problem is management and vision. Yeah, that could be true too. But as far as video games, I don't know where consoles go. I don't have an answer for that. I think video games get me because of storytelling and just gameplay is something different. And games always find a way to make things interesting where I don't feel like it's repetitive, but that certain
like
games will. Well, how long do we stick with Fall Guys? We had fun, but I think that kind of that was just because we were playing with a bunch of people, and I think that's why it was silly as shit. That's meant to be like a friend making, as you say, a friend making game. It's just be the best jelly beans we can be.
Oh
But
my God,
I think
I
Fall Guys
remember.
is still going. But my point is, yes, there are certain things, but the games I know I play, and I can only, everyone's a little different for what they play. I don't know. I still feel like there's new things that they can do. And so I don't feel like it's even got to the point. Yeah, we might be in a slump, and I think a lot of that, like I said, might have been the last couple of years, even though we've gone up in sales. Um, Maybe COVID could have just slowed down a lot of shit. And that was the
Hmm.
time for all of us to get into our backlog. And we didn't. Even though we were all just sitting at home like, what the fuck do we do? We and you just said, fuck it, let's start a podcast and let's just start talking bullshit.
We
So,
sure did.
but I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. I would love, if anything, the VR thing, like I said, I would say something that's easy set up. Like I said, you literally put on a helmet, you're in the VR game. I've heard so many bad things about the Steam Deck. I don't know. I would like portable games, and I say that because of mobile, but I don't know. There was still something about when it was Game Boy and DS and PSP. There was a lot of quality games, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe mobile does. I like I said, the mobile gaming is just for me like I'm just sitting
I
there. So
just
I'm not
never
looked
did
to
it.
see what games are there. I've never thought about there might actually be realistically good games, but because a lot of the free games is what a lot of us get into, and microtransactions, which killed a lot of it. But I don't know. There could be some good games, but I would like another new handheld device. I don't know, that could play like the PS5 games without having to turn on my PS5, because I think that's what the whatever that new I can't even think of the name of it, like Vista, what was it? I can't remember.
Well, yeah, I don't remember either.
Either way,
Huh.
I
Huh.
don't know where the hardware goes from here, but I know
Yeah.
it'll be something that will surprise me. Um,
I'd like it to be smaller. This is too much. Like, this is a lot. I get it. It's whatever, but I mean, I thought we were going smaller, like, right? That's what the future was. Um, that everything would be smaller and smaller and less whatever. I mean, I do have a PS5 with a Blu-ray player in it. I would tell you that when I put the Blu-ray in there, it's like loud as fuck,
hmm
like trying to fucking play. And I'm like, oh my God, why did I even get this? We'll get into that later as well, but I would like smaller, you know, that's my thing. Um, I will say this, coming from my background in business really quick, at least this is my thinking. If I'm a business and I'm successful in a subscription-based model, and I've got enough users to go into it, and the microtransactions are going well and everything like that, I have zero interest in innovation.
hmm.
There's nothing to incentivize me to innovate as a head of a department or a head of a business if what I'm currently doing has growth potential and continues to go into that. Like, it's like the gambling thing with the dopamine like kind of reaction. It's like you get, kids to get into things young enough, and then, that's disposable income that they keep grabbing from adults. And if that still has growth potential, why would I take a risk on something that may or may not work, right? So maybe somebody will in the future. I'm not saying they won't, but just from a general kind of structure of how, a business is run, you really mitigate risk as much as you can. And if something is profitable and it's going to continue to grow in that space, um, then there's no reason to innovate other than just, I mean, there's really no reason to innovate. So, I hope that's not the case. I know there's a lot of great companies. I know that there are companies that are run by gamers. Um, and so people who do want to innovate, but I think that the big bad guys are always going to be, the big bad guys, and they're always going to charge so much money uh, to try to get you to have an emotional response. So, but that's just, again, my opinion.
All right, before we move on, yeah, Cynic. It's called the PlayStation Portal. That's what I was thinking of. Not Vista or Vita was like the older one, but the
Oh
newer one
yeah,
is called the Portal. I couldn't, yeah. So, and yeah, I don't know. Like I said, gaming, it's hard because you brought up Fortnite, and Fortnite was
yeah,
just I hate to say a mistake. They did the battle royale, and that's the game that wasn't even their game,
yeah,
and
right.
that's why they can't sell it. But basically, all they do is just change the map, and then they put in free skins. And
Yep.
in a way, that's my and I'm I've done it too. I'm like, oh, Chris Redfield in Fortnite? Yeah, I'll purchase this for a few bucks. But that's what happens, you know.
And
But
that
they, out of
multiply
everything,
that
they,
by so many people,
yeah, no, they. I hate to say they've done it right, but their business models there. Whereas Helldivers, I know they lost a lot of their community.
They did.
You know, and it's still fun to play, and I think it's fun to play because again, we play with Mel and Tengu, and
Can't wait.
we have fun just blowing shit up and accidentally blowing up each other. So, but yeah, I think video game systems they'll find a way. It might be a competition thing, you know. They might, you know, it's whoever takes that chance and whoever succeeds, because that's the whole thing. How Sony PlayStation started. Nintendo's like, yeah, I don't know, and then yeah, PlayStation. Sony was like,
Well,
we'll do it on our own.
that's a great point though, because Xbox is like sucking right now. And it's like, we've talked about this with WCW and WWF, right? It's like you need competition to drive what I was talking about, the innovation, right? It's like there has to be competition. Right now, it's like Sony. And like Microsoft has done a lot of stupid ass fucking decisions. I think we talked about this
Yeah.
recently. So you're right. I think that's the way out, is hoping that competition improves, and that ultimately, that's where the innovation comes from. But you've got to have competitors, and to me, that's why I stopped watching WWE, because WWE, once it took over WCW, there was no fucking reason for them to improve. They already won. You don't have another wrestling thing to watch. I mean, sure, I guess you can watch AEW, but like, you don't have another option really. Like, if you want to watch wrestling, it's going to be WWE, and so there's no incentive for them to get better in that situation. Not in a
But
real
in a
way,
weird way, I know you stopped watching in. I know Vince
God,
McMahon left,
a long time
and
ago.
the product has gotten better. The ratings have gotten better. So sometimes it might just be a change you don't realize you need. And yes,
That's a
there
good
is
point.
AEW, and I know TNA is still around. And funny that we're going to
Is it?
wrestling from TNA is
We
still
always go
around.
to wrestling.
But that's the thing, you know. Yes, WWE is the big guy, the number one. It still is, always has been. But I think when Vince McMahon had to step down with whatever allegations, not going to get into it, and Triple H kind of took over creative, and I know Dwayne Johnson and TKO bought them, so all new management. But all of a sudden, there was a different vision. You have basically a guy who was a wrestler, who did live the business and understand it, whether you liked him or not, now running things.
Hmm.
It's somehow the stories and everything, more things matter. You've joked like attitude era, you know, they're like, whether you're the top guy, the little guy, you had a story. You had, you know, no one cared about the wrestling in Attitude Era. Think about it. We talked about this. The matches sucked, and I'm sorry, you know, people who are Attitude Era fans, I'm sorry. Yes, Stone Cold, you know, he comes out, big pop. But the bottom line is, you watch the majority of those matches, they're quick, they're dumb, they're stupid. But the characters, and they are just over because they made every story matter, whether you're at the top of the card or the bottom of the card. And that's where you said they bought WCW. They're like, yeah, fuck it, you know, these two guys can fight. Why? Just have them fight. Who cares? You know, there's still quality matches, but that's
Painful.
why it died. And now Triple H has kind of brought back the long-term booking. You know, things like he did with Hogan. You know, if you think like when Hogan and Savage were huge, that whole year feud, and some, even the Warrior, just everything.
I love
It's not
that.
just quick. So I think there's a lot more It's turning. So in a way, back to your point, yes, Sony kind of is the big dog right now. Microsoft just upped their Game Pass too, the price of their Game Pass.
Oh,
I don't know if you read about
bad
this.
timing for that. No.
It's like $5 more a month, if I read this correctly. But yes, where was I going with this? But anyhow, if Sony can come up with a way, you can change, even if you're the top dog. You just have to find a way. And Cynic, to your point about Saudi money, that was still on Vince McMahon. Triple H still has to honor the deal. So you can't. They made a deal before him, and so they will still go. So yes, but they still create the storylines through. Yes, they obviously want to bring the big matches, but the storylines are still continuing. But that was the deal made with Vince McMahon that still has to be honored. So yeah, you know what though? I mean, pay me $50 million, I'll go wrestle a match with whoever. I don't care. You know, whatever. They pay the money.
How much?
So.
50 million? That's
I don't know. I'm just.
I'm just
I'll wrestle a
trying to
match.
picture you wrestling. That's 50 million. I mean, you just have to not die.
I told you I would fight Mike Tyson for $1 million. All I have to do is just take one punch and I will drop. As long as I don't get hit in
One punch might be to kill you.
Exactly, but if he grazes my shoulder, he maybe hits my rib a little bit. You know, it'll pay for my doctor's, and I'll set up my family. I don't care. But yeah, I mean, back to the whole video games thing. I still think I still think there's a lot that we have not seen, and I think there's a lot of things that they will try, and it's whoever takes that first step. Because, like you said, right now it's Sony, but if you remember, even though I was a Sony guy from day one, 360 was bigger than PS3. That was the
Oh yeah.
era of Xbox, and then
Yep.
PS4
I had
kind
one.
of, PS5 took over. So it can change, but yeah, I think there needs to be more direct competition. I know Nintendo has this niche audiences, and people still have, they have great games, but they're not there with the big dogs anymore. It just doesn't feel like it. I don't know.
Nope.
That could just be me. Oh, excuse me. I'm burping up my coffee. Not that any of you need to hear that, but that is what's going on. Excuse me, and I am sorry. But anyhow, all right, let's kind of put this to bed. I know we're going to be talking a little bit more video games later on in this
Oh,
podcast.
of course, as we always do.
But Cynic, thank you. I mean, I love it. You always chat it up. I see a lot
It's
of things
great.
there. He was playing the Impossible. I don't know if you know this game, the Impossible Quiz. It's Soto. You would turn this off in a second. It's puzzles, and I know how much you love puzzles, but these puzzles don't make
Oh.
sense, and you would hate it, and you would rage. That would
Puzzles
make sense.
don't make
like
sense to
like
me.
it's just it's puzzles, but it's like a multiple choice kind of puzzle thing, and
Huh?
you have it's weird. It's just
I'm
look
already
up the,
not a fan.
Oh, I know. We did the We Were Here series, and you. Oh my God.
Oh, dude, my brain is just not like that. I'm a simple caveman. It
Like,
doesn't
show
work
me a
that
red
way.
barrel to shoot, give me explosions, and I am happy.
Yeah, I like
Oh,
things. I like things go big bang. All right,
Big
that's
bang
it.
boom. So,
Yep, big loud
oh.
noises.
But anyhow, yeah, Soto and Chad, where you're doing dumb debates, and for our next topic, and I can't believe you brought this up, Soto. And for people who don't know,
Yeah.
I was born in Chicago, which
Hmm.
coincidentally would not change my opinion on the next topic, but it makes it a little bit funnier. Um,
I feel
but
like it
yes,
is the reason for the topic, isn't
no,
it?
no, it's
Isn't it?
not. It is
Okay,
and it
all right.
isn't because you're
Okay.
bringing it up. But do
Okay.
ketchup belong on hot dogs? Now, no, they don't. But to me, ketchup doesn't belong on shit. When I was a kid,
Well, that I
like,
cannot agree with, sir.
oh no,
That
no,
I cannot agree with.
so all right. First of all, when I was a kid, just like most people, I
Uh-huh.
loved ketchup.
Yep.
You go to McDonald's, you have ketchup, you got fries, blah blah
Sure.
blah.
Yeah.
And I used to eat it. And I don't. All of a sudden, I got taste buds, and I'm like, you know what? Ketchup is kind of shit. I know I'm
It's
going
very
to get
sweet.
blasted for this. And I'm just like, I don't need to put this on anything if I don't like it. And so I stopped. I do, if I have fries, I do barbecue sauce, mustard, whatnot. I'll do something else. I don't care. Hot dogs, again, mustard, but I can't do ketchup. Now, I will say this, if I go out like to a McDonald's, which is very rare, and I forget to say no ketchup, I will deal with it, but I am not happy
You'll
about it.
deal with
Uh,
it. You're like, I'm gonna deal with this situation right now.
I will deal with the situation. But
Okay.
so
What about
yes, for
meatloaf?
people, no, no, I don't know.
Why?
I can't. Ketchup is just gross. So if people who don't know, but anyhow, and I actually got. I don't know if you're still on Twitter. I know you left Twitter, but I got banned from Twitter for about a week for a comment I made about Chicago and ketchup. And so anyone who's been to Chicago knows, though they will allow it, they will chastise you for putting ketchup in your hot dog. Some places will they have like those funny signs. And I actually have I've read a story of why the Chicago hot dogs are the way they are, the ingredients they put on. But anyhow, so someone was just kind of joking, like, hey, say where you're from without saying where you're from. And I said, if you order ketchup on a hot dog, they will lynch you. I kind of said they will lynch you. And because I used the word lynch,
Oh.
Twitter came in because I'm like, I'm not threatening anyone, but I got banned, and I laughed. I'm like, so I had to delete it. I think it was 72 hours. I said a week, but I think it was like a 3-day thing. And I laughed. I'm like, really? Like, I didn't say, I did not go out and threaten. I just said, hey, if you ask for ketchup in Chicago, you will be lynched. So it kind of said like that. And yes, that's how I got my one and only Twitter ban. Fucking hilarious to
Wow.
me. But oh my God. So yes, there is a lot of different hot dogs, and for people, and I had a screenshot, but yes, the Chicago hot dog has the basically the like the sesame hot dog bun.
That's got
the
like
burger.
pickles on it too, or some shit.
Yes.
Is that like a pickle?
Yes. I'm trying to see if I can
That's like adding a vegetable to it. So, like, do you put onions on your hot dogs? Like
Yes, but
raw white onions?
oh no, I like cook. Well, actually, if it's raw, I'm fine with onions. Onions, but I will put whatever on my hot dog that's there.
Dude.
Actually, I think last time I
I'll put
had a hot,
whatever that's there? Like, what
well,
do you
no, like
mean? Like,
whether it's
except
raw or
ketchup.
grilled. So not everyone does grilled
Okay.
onions. Like some, I would prefer grilled onions, but if there's just raw onions, I love onions. I am fine with onions. But yeah, so then they have. So yes, it's the spear pickle that goes straight down.
Uh-huh.
Couple
Which is
tomatoes.
weird to me.
The one thing my daughter loves sports. It's called sports peppers, which is hard to find. I actually had to order them on.
Sports
They're called
peppers?
sports peppers. They have different names, but yeah, that's the main name. What
Are they for
obviously
sports?
mustard and then celery. No, but it's that. Well, maybe it's for sport. I don't know. But it's actually called the sport pepper. It's got a little kick to it. But yes,
Okay.
a Chicago hot dog, fucking great. You can get it at Sonic's, but obviously if you're in the Illinois area, you'll get a real one. But yes, they will not put ketchup on it. I don't like ketchup. That's why I say I will never put ketchup
You just
on
don't
it.
even like ketchup at all.
I
Like
hate
not even
ketchup. I
like
hate ketchup.
on some like hash browns or
Oh,
something
fuck
like
that shit.
that.
No,
Or
I never got, even as a kid, I never got why people put ketchup on eggs. Do you put ketchup on eggs?
I have had ketchup on eggs, but no, I don't. I put like hot sauce on my eggs. So like I'll put like Cholula because I'm a big hot sauce guy. So I'll put like Cholula or Sriracha and shit like that on it. But like the only time I will use ketchup, and it's funny because I hated ketchup before. So I did have your opinion on things. I used to actually say like, if you're above the age of like 5 years old, like you shouldn't be using
Yes, I
ketchup.
listened to that podcast where you said that, and then I'll reference that in a second. But go on. I'm sorry. I kind of ranted. Let me give you the floor back. I
It's okay. No,
apologize.
no, I'm just saying. Like, but like I have lately come around and been like, okay, like maybe a little bit of ketchup on like if I'm out to breakfast and I'm having like home fries, right?
Hmm.
I'll put some ketchup on there, like to just kind of zhuzh it up a little bit. Like I don't use too much, but just to give it a little bit different taste. 'Cause it's like a savory, sweet kind of a thing. Because I am a person that does dip my French fries in Wendy's Frosties. Like I think that that's delicious, and I think that's a great move. I know some people are not about that, but I
I'm
think
okay
it's
with that.
great.
I've done that.
I
I am
love
okay with
salty
that. Yeah.
sweet. I love salty sweet. It's one of my favorite things. I like salted caramel ice cream. I just like salty sweet. So yeah, I've picked up on it. I've been okay with it, and I will like again like if I have a meatloaf sandwich, like I'm putting ketchup on that shit. Because it just cuts into the overall fatty savoriness of the meatloaf, and it just gives it a little bit of a I don't know like a sweet kick to it, and I like that shit. Like if I had a choice, would I choose like I have a Japanese barbecue sauce that I really like. Like, would I put out that? Sure, but in a pinch, I have no problem with ketchup on a hot dog. I mean, like to me, I'll grab some ketchup, put it on a hot dog with some mayonnaise. I'm not mayonnaise. I apologize. Mustard. My dad used to put it in mayonnaise. By the way, disgusting. Um, but some mustard and some ketchup on a dog, dude. I'll eat that shit all day. Now I don't eat hot dogs because they're awful for you, and I'm sure you don't either anymore. Um, but
You
yeah,
said
I got
that
no
I
problem
had
doing
one
it.
last week.
Did you really?
All right, we'll get to. I want to go through the chat real quick because Cynic has
What'd
been.
you put on it?
I will get to that in a sec. So first of all, Cynic, yes, chili dogs. I'm going to kind of backtrack if you. I love
Ooh,
chili
I like
dogs.
chili dogs.
Chili
So
dogs.
good.
I like chili on anything is fucking great.
Yes.
What I kind
Love
of
chili.
saw this. I don't think I've ever tried it. What was it? A Chilean hot dog. He says it's the best. It's avocado, mayo,
Ooh.
and diced tomato. I mean, I'm all for that. Don't get me
I don't
wrong.
know about the mayo part, but
Yeah,
maybe
yeah, I
with the
know.
avocado. Because my dad used to like slather mayonnaise on hot dogs, and nothing could be gross. I think I may have done it when I'm drunk because I have a drinking problem.
That could be. That
Um,
could be. I can understand that.
and I've done it when I'm drunk, but like that avocado, avocado is slept on, man. It's fucking delicious.
And I do, yes, Chicago's known for their deep dish pizzas. And I get that people don't like it just because it's kind
Which
of learned
Sarah
over.
says is not a real pizza, by the way. So that'll be
We're not
like
having that. No,
a
no,
future,
it is.
that'll
It
be a
is.
future debate because
It's
she's
got
like,
all the ingredients. This is not like a hot dog is a sandwich shit. It has, now, it might be in a different order, but it's a fucking pizza because it has the ingredients. I will ride that more than I will ride that people say a hot dog is a sandwich because it's not. So yes, all right. So I've been,
future debates.
I have not had hot dogs a lot in recently, but for some reason, the last couple of weeks, I was like, God, but I wanted a real hot dog, not like a grilled hot dog, not like, when you go to Dairy Queen or some shit like that, you just, any. So went to Five Guys. I'm like, fuck it, I'm getting a hot dog. I'm like, I want a hot dog. And so here's what I had on it.
Wait, you got a hot dog at Five Guys? I didn't even know Five Guys had hot dogs.
They do. They do hot dogs. Because they have like a hot dog. You can do like cheese dog or a bacon cheese dog. And I didn't even do the bacon or the cheese.
Thank God.
Well, I did. I've done bacon on a burger. Like I have to really watch my bacon intake. But anyhow, so on my hot dog, I had barbecue sauce. I had mustard. I had grilled onions, and I felt like I'm missing, and grilled peppers. I kind of went the grill. Like I think it's because
like sausage.
Dude, that's the Chicago sausage kielbasa. Yes, but because they split the way they split the hot dog. Five Guys actually has a really good hot dog.
Wow.
So I didn't want just like a plain, not a plain, but a basic hot dog. So I was like, I kind of wanted like a grilled hot dog, and Five Guys actually makes a good hot dog. So that's what I had on it. I would never ask for, relish. I think I put relish on it. Oh God, yeah, I loaded.
I like relish.
I love relish. Can't do the
relish
same thing.
Great.
Yeah, relish is awesome. Oh my God. Yeah, no, cynic. I not that you know this because we kind of more met recently, but it was a couple years ago. Basically had a heart attack, so a lot of my sodium intake. I say basically, I did to a point.
In the most basic sense, your heart attacked you.
I mean, I've had high
it was
cholesterol.
Waiting for you.
I've had high cholesterol my whole life. I'm not, so, and this is a time of life where
didn't help it.
this 2-year period, I think again, it was the end of my retail life, which we talked about, and I ate way too much junk, more so than I ever should.
It's toxic.
And
so toxic.
Yeah, basically put myself in there. So yes, I do have my cheat days, and I have to pick and choose what I do here and there. So even hot dogs, but I'm like, I just really wanted a hot dog, and I was like, fucking, I'm going to do it, and we were doing Five Guys. I'm like, I'm having a hot dog.
I'll tell you right now, Chad, I don't think there's any nutritional value in a hot dog. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it's like white bread. I love white. I do wheat bread because of the nutritional flavor. But I think white bread's one of the best. But yes, there's nothing nutritional about a hot dog.
Like a hot dog can only hurt you. It can't help you.
Well, if you have a Chicago style hot dog, you got the pickle, you got the tomato, you got the neon relish. That's the weird. I will admit, if there's one thing weird about a Chicago hot dog, it's the fact that they make the relish neon green. That's it. It's just
I have no problems with that.
It looks awesome, but in the long run, it doesn't taste different. But yes, I am a relish guy.
Dude, I love relish. Well, like what kind? Well, I've also had like sweet pepper relish and shit like that, like the red one.
Usually, just basic dill. I mean, dill is kind of
I love
go-to.
dill.
I will. Speaking about change of subjects, like Jill, she loves dill pickles. I don't mind the bread and butter pickles. I'll do bread and butter pickles on like sandwiches.
I have them all the time.
Yeah, but she can't. She doesn't. She hates them, and I'm like, yeah, on sandwiches and stuff. I prefer even like hamburgers, bread and butter. But yeah, dill pickles on like hot dogs and hamburgers. Yeah. So.
Well, the only time I had bread and butter pickles, because I used to also hate them too. But I make these pulled pork little sliders using King's Hawaiian bread.
Ooh,
and
that's good bread. I like that.
I will. Yeah. So like I'll like put obviously the pulled pork on there. I'll use some yellow mustard. And then I will just put one single like bread and butter pickle on it, and just again back to the ketchup thing, it just adds a sweetness to an otherwise fatty thing, so you don't get palate fatigue through the whole thing. You and I have obviously been to many Brazilian steakhouses.
Oh, yeah,
we've experienced these things. You have to for me, I have to break up the meat with something that's otherwise I'll be like tired from eating the same thing. So it's like I will often be like in between, then bring out different meats. I'll eat some vegetables. I'll do some whatever because it resets my palate so that I'm not just like constantly eating fatty meat and just being like, oh my God, obviously you were at my wedding and we cleaned them out. But you gotta, that night, not so much. It's weird. I don't know what it was about that night, but I had I didn't get full. I kept eating and eating and eating, and I never got to a point where I felt full that whole time.
It's really left, probably. It's just, I mean, we also had a lot of beer that night, if I remember correctly, so that could have helped with the situation.
Oh, I think we did.
Oh, we did. I mean, it was your wedding, so, so yeah, we
did.
We have to do a Brazilian steakhouse again. Oh, it's been so long.
Oh, dude,
Caleb's never done
absolutely.
it. Oh my god, I love
We'll,
it. I
we'll
love it.
say
I
it's
love
the
it.
best Brazilian steakhouse in New England. We'll just
Oh.
we'll just take some pictures and be like, we went to the best New England like Brazilian steakhouse. People would just be pissed, and they'll flame us in the comments,
But
and we'll
that's how
get
we.
7,000 views.
knew we made it. You know, your video makes it when people are trolling you or hating on you. It's like our Fun Spot video. It was like the Goodwill Hunting video we had. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like there was a third one in there. I think our short that did like over 6,000. You know, like you know you're
Oh
on a
yeah, the hell
topic
everyone.
when people are just mocking you or trolling you, and you know what me, because I know I handle the comments. I don't give a shit, and I will just have fun with it back. And if they can take it, great. Now, yes, with the Fun Spot one, I'm sorry I did not research that there was a new large arcade. I know Guinness Book called Fun Spot the world's largest arcade, but yes, in that time that I last heard it, Chicago. Speaking of Chicago, got a bigger arcade, more cabinets and space, or whatever. And people are like, oh, I'm like, I'm not the Guinness. I'm not.
We're not the news.
I'm not.
We're not the fucking news. We're just two guys. We're not the fucking news. We're not journalists. So fucking what? We were wrong. Guess what? We're wrong about a lot of things. All right. It's things that we don't even talk about. Like 90% of the things we do are wrong. So what? We were wrong. Big deal.
Yeah. But yes, I mean, back to finish off on this ketchup. I don't do ketchup anymore. I don't. I don't like it. I don't care. Again, if it's there and it's already part of it, I will deal with it. I am not happy about it, but you know me, I'm also not going to be rude. I'm going to be like, Soto, you put fucking ketchup on the meatloaf. What the fuck? I can't do it. You give me, if you gave me a slice of meatloaf with it on it, I'm going to me, I appreciate it. I'm that kind of guy, but man, I will not be happy about it. But yes, that I'll leave it at that. But yeah, that's why I don't do ketchup. It has nothing to do with being born in Chicago. That helped being bred that way a little bit. But yeah, because I like I said, I had ketchup when I was a kid. I just don't have ketchup anymore. So
Yeah.
anyhow, that was fun.
Yeah. Well, we certainly covered the gamut there
Well,
of
like
what a hot dog is.
it's a touchy subject between some people. So, oh my God.
I mean, it's like just God Almighty, dude. It's like to me, it's like I reserve the right to change my mind about how I feel about certain things, and maybe I'll start eating mayonnaise on hot dogs. I don't know.
I don't.
I'm not like closed-minded to it.
Let's see. I'm kind of reading things, catching up within the last few. Yeah, Cynic. I'm sorry we got you drooling. Food happens, We talk, and yes, Brazilian grills are literally the only place I've ever fed full. Yeah, I mean me and Soto used to do Chinese buffets a lot. So, but yeah, Brazilian, the one we used to went to in Andover. I know there's one in Manchester. Gachos that we still have to try.
Yeah, I think we went to So the one we used to go to in Andover is Chama Grill, which is no longer there.
Correct.
But there's
COVID.
There's like one called like Fogo de Chao that's like a chain one that I've heard about. But yeah, Gauchos. It's all good stuff, man. I mean,
as long as the meats are good, I don't care. Like I said, we'll go wherever. But I heard Gachos was actually better than I thought they would be, especially because I think it's just Manchester. So, well, hold on. Before we go to the next topic, Cynic is, he brought up, what about a deep dish hot dog? I don't know how the fuck that would work. Wait, all right. Let me ask you something. Soto.
Deep dish hot dog?
Let me ask, since we talk about, deep dish pizzas, not real pizza. If you put the toppings underneath the hot dog, and then you put the hot dog on top.
Yeah. I see where you're going with this. By the way, I still think that's a hot dog, and I want one right now. Like, it's like, all right, tell me more. Like, what's under this hot? Like a nice little surprise under the hot dog. That's kind of cool. Look,
well, it's just it's a way to keep everything in, so it's not like falling out. So I'll be honest, I kind of prefer it that way. If I make it myself, I'll put everything on the bun first and put the hot dog on top. I mean, obviously, if you have like chili or something, which I don't even know the last time I've had a chili dog. That you kind of have to put. I mean, it soaks it in, but I do. I put a lot of my toppings on, and so I'm going to call that the deep dish hot. Oh fuck, man, I am hungry. Me and Jill are actually going to a breakfast place after this tonight. She's like, she wanted pancakes because we were watching this guy called Beard Meets Food on YouTube. Love him. He's like a professional eater. He's I don't get it, but I'm like, yeah, we can do it. I'm like, I can do a breakfast. I can have an omelet. It's been a while since I've had eggs, so yeah, I think we're out later on this evening.
Nice.
Working on
Yeah,
Lego.
I'll tell you, man. I believe a deep dish pizza is a pizza. I
Oh, it is. It
love
is.
deep dish pizza. My only problem with deep dish pizza is that I feel like I'm eating a book when I'm eating one. Like
But it fills you up.
nothing. Oh no, it sure does. Like, but at what cost, right? So, I love it. It's one of the only pizzas that you really can actually eat with a fork and a knife and not be made to look like a fool. Um, because I'm a fold slice guy. So if I can't fold it, then I don't want it. But deep dish pizza is perfectly fine. Sarah likes pizza. I don't.
What the fuck is
We'll
beach
get to
pizza?
it. You never had beach pizza? You live in New Hampshire, bro.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, it's like by fucking Hampton. Like it's basically like a sweeter kind of sauce, like Tripoli's does it, but it's like a New Hampshire specific form of pizza called beach pizza.
Huh.
Yeah, look it up on YouTube.
I will. Siddick, if you're
But
still
yeah,
here,
shit.
thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I know. Also, thank you for stopping by. I'm sure I'll talk to you before next Wednesday. But yeah, no, I've never heard. I mean, yes, I live in New Hampshire, but I've never heard of it called beach pizza. So I will look that up. I am now
Look it
intrigued,
up.
and we'll go from there. So,
Okay.
oh well.
Pizza podcast. It's coming. We're just this is
No,
just
we're gonna.
building up to the
I
pizza
think we'll do a food.
podcast.
I still think we'll do a food one. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We got time.
We'll
And we
workshop
talk
it.
about a lot of dumb shit. We can bring on guests. You know me. I love guests. You know. So if Sarah wants to come on and talk some shit, I will debate the deep dish pizza.
Oh,
And
I mean, you know she's gonna talk shit. You know this.
I'm
You know her
fine.
well,
I am
so.
fine. Bring it. The more shit, the better.
She has a very opinionated opinion about it.
I know, and she's opinionated on a lot of things. You know, we can bring up
Yes.
other things that I know how you feel. You know, we can talk about how Pirates of the Caribbean, how you think that sucks, and you know, then I can
Oh, it totally
divert her
does.
back
That's
to
just
you.
objective. That's just an objective. Like I'm just being objective. Like I'm not. That's not an opinion. I'm just like, hey,
I'm
look.
just,
Either you're okay with it or you're not okay with it. Is basically I'm like where I draw a line. Are you okay with this being a piece of shit? That's fine. I don't judge you. It is a piece of shit though. Like we can all agree on it. The first Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean, I'm getting sleepy just thinking about it.
I actually enjoyed it, but anyhow,
Oh God, no,
it,
not a fifth debate.
it was. Not for now.
First one?
It's not one of our four topics. I enjoy,
Ugh.
it was dumb and fun, and that's why I enjoyed it.
And long and long,
It happens.
so long, so
different between
long.
the next two films, but if we're just talking the first one, but all right. So speaking about Soto and Chad here doing dumb debates, and this is one that I know people have their opinions on. It's basically what they find scary, but Soto, let's start because you hate scary video games. They're not
Oh,
for
absolutely.
you. You fucking hate them, but you're okay with scary movies.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of don't get it because I do feel that
Scary
to me
Daddy.
movie
Scary Daddy.
yeah, AI right here. They just pick these. I'm just like scary movies, scary games, and this one thing.
Scary Daddy. That's fucking great. Scariest movie of all time. Scary Daddy.
Yeah, no, these aren't real. I don't know how AI came up with this. I'm just like one guy holding scary movies, the other guy holding scary games. I just plop their faces on it. This is fucking hilarious to me. But it was I guess I kind of get it, but I don't because I personally think movies are scarier than video games. But I'm going to start with you because obviously this starts as more of a
Yeah.
joke because we know whenever we need some entertainment, we ask you to play a scary game. We did it,
Oh,
obviously
God,
with
low-hanging
Resident Evil
fruit.
7. You beat Resident Evil Village. You started
I
Evil
did.
Within, which I know Evil Within is not your style because there is a lot of stealth to it. You might have to go to easy on that.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
I hate
we've
stealth,
done.
big time.
And we've done was it the Dark Picture anthology games? Man of Medan,
Love those
Little
games.
Hopes. They are fun, but they are scary. And then you freak out, and I gotta come save you. But why do you feel video games are scarier than movies?
It's just a matter of interfacing, like I've talked about before. I'm actually holding the controller, and I'm in like whatever happens to the character. It's like I'm connected, right? And so that's why I feel that it's even more scary because it's like the choices that I am making are going to result in either the success or the failure of me living or dying. When I watch a movie, on the other hand, I'm not. I can disconnect. Yes, I can engage with the movie, but I've seen so many fucking movies. You have seen so many fucking movies.
That's true.
there's not a lot that really like would shock me unless it's like over the top violence. And even then, it's like because I was raised on Tom and Jerry, I find it more funny than fucking scary sometimes. So it's weird. I have a good friend of mine that watches a lot of scary movies. He tells me about it. And I just don't like get. I don't get it. I don't like actively seek them out. I don't watch them. I'm never in the mood for a scary movie, except for like the classics. Like I've been watching like Sarah and I are watching like the Friday the 13th like kind of movies and trying to catch up with that. Or I love Nightmare on Elm Street. It's my all-time favorite.
Mm.
Even Dream Warriors. Dream Warriors is fine. Like the whole just Nightmare on Elm Street, even the bad parts I find wildly entertaining. But scary games on the other hand, it's like no, now it's me like walking down that dark hallway, and I don't want to walk down that dark hallway. But if some stupid asshole does it in a movie, well, that's a stupid asshole. Like I know it's not going to affect me in any way, but if something comes out like a fucking giant baby fetus, like and my controller starts shaking, yeah, I'm gonna shit my pants. And I did,
I mean, I
as we
guess I
know.
say I kind of see it your way, but I don't because I don't think. Speaking of Resident Evil, since that's what we're talking about here, like I don't associate with Ethan Winters, so it's like yeah, whatever. It's him. It's not me. Now take jump scares out of movies or games because to me I'm like I don't find the yes no matter what jump scares get the majority of us
I mean, they
regardless but
startled me.
yeah but you know what I mean that's what it makes you jump it does what it's supposed to do but I don't consider that
It's
scary
cheap.
but it is it unless it's done right meant for a bigger scare or something but that's the thing like you said I think you said it I am older now we know how movies work but I think for me it's like I know how games work like
Yeah.
I've seen it I don't remember the last time I've been scared. I was creeped out, and I know I texted you from that fetus because I've never seen something like that in
I
a
wasn't
game. And
creeped out at all. I was horrified.
you were, and you ran the opposite direction, which you're supposed to do in the game, run away. Yeah, that's actually
Thank
the
you.
point of
Yes.
it, because you have to
Yes.
outrun it and get around it. And I'm just like, it was the one thing I personally did not expect coming. But and then I think there's some movies that have creeped me out. I know, in like a couple of years ago, we did the scariest movie we've ever seen, Audition. Um,
Oh
there's
yeah.
a couple scenes that really get to me, but I don't know. I just feel with horror movies now. Yes, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Streets, they're campy, they get gory. I don't find those kind of movies scary. They'll come. We're coming close to a few months of October. I'm glad you're watching these because this is the area I want to go in. But I think for me, it's like the psychological, movies, the horrors that actually more get to me. But to me, it's like if they build up the story, build up the characters. That's why I find them more scary because it's like I'm more invested in this character. Yes, they might be a dumb shit for walking down this hall. They might not have any other choice. But I mean, I'm like, I don't know. It's hard for me. I
Hmm.
can't think of a video game that's actually scared me outside of jump scares. Because like I said, I can't count that. There's games I have jumped. I'm like, oh shit, just because something happens. But I honestly, and I've played scary games. We from Resident Evils, from Evil Within's. Yes, there's a lot of images and stuff like that, or these creatures, but I'm like, they're not real. And I think that's what gets to me. I'm like, they're just not real. And I think it's for me, the movies that scare me are the ones that could happen. Not,
So you get
that
scared for movies? Like you watch a movie and you're like
when
you
I was a
feel
kid,
fear?
when I was
Well,
a
what about
kid,
now?
no, I don't remember. That's the thing. I don't remember the last time. I'm just saying, if there's anything, I'm probably more going to get freaked out from a movie than a game because I have been freaked out from movies. Again, probably younger. I can't remember the last scary movie I saw. I mean, probably, like I said, Audition I saw, but that creeped me the fuck out. I was like, oh my god. And there's one scene that actually still makes me want to throw up. Like if I honestly think about it, like my gag reflex happens and I want to throw up just thinking about a certain scene from that movie, just
Wow.
because it's so fucking gross and it's not even horror based. I mean, like a horror reason there is horror things, but I don't know. I mean, you say fear, yes, when I was younger, but I can't remember any games that ever scared me because to me, like the movies kind of get me more. And I just think because they build up those characters, I care about those characters, what's going to happen to them. Because I do try engulf myself in movies, even though I don't fucking watch them anymore.
This is correct. Yes.
Though we do need to see, I know we talked about Deadpool and Wolverine. We do need to go see that. I'm all in on that. But I don't know. I guess I get it. I just feel maybe they're equal, but I've never been scared from a video game movies have scared, when I was younger, a teen, they did because we're young and stupid.
Hmm.
Now we're just old and cranky. I think we're the ones that scare a lot of people. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
sure I do, even if they don't tell me. But yeah, I don't. Again, I watch scary movies. I don't remember. Like, I'll get startled from a jump scare, but scary games, I feel like those come out every year. So I guess have horror games peaked? No, not for me. They can still get scarier.
when Outlast Trials gets to a good
Oh
price,
no. Oh
it's
no.
online multiplayer. I've never, I think Jill played like maybe the first Outlast, and I've never really played them, but I'm going to tell you to buy that. And me and you, that's going to be, I mean, I know we got, The Devil Within Me. I think this is the
Mm-hmm.
next dark that we got that. And I know we got that Final Fantasy Strangers of Paradise, but I'm keeping an eye. I'm telling you this right now. Outlast Trials, once it's at a good price, I'm having you buy that, and I'm going to have you drink, and we're going to play that. And I've had a couple friends that I play Rocket League, and they joke that they scream. They're kind of like more emotional watching games and stuff like that. It's going to be funny as shit. But yes, if it gets under
Oh
20,
no.
or if it ever becomes free, I'm going to be like, get it, and we are going to play this shit. So, FYI,
Oh God
that is a horror
Almighty.
game that is in our future. I don't even know much about it. I just know it's online, it's multiplayer. We're good. So,
Oh no. I'm not looking forward to that,
I know, but it'll be
because
fun.
I never do. Oh yeah, for you.
Probably for
Just
Sarah too. I know she was
exploit
there
my
when
fears.
you were playing like Resident Evil 8 and the baby fetus and all that shit. So,
Oh, that shit was terrible,
oh my
dude. Oh
god, that was
God, just a
hilarious.
lot of that game was terrible. Like the big vampire bitch, like
Yep.
that shit was scary as fuck, man. That shit had me all sorts of my feelings.
Oh, excuse me. All right. We're gonna get to our last topic soon, and then I know we got a little Hell Divers coming up, which should be,
A debate style. I like that.
yeah, this one actually said it again. Gotta love the AI art, But yeah, so I put the text, the Soto and Chat Show, and the
That's
Soto and
fucking
Chat Show, I make
great.
caps and a
It's
debate style logo. And this, like I said, I mean, if you look at the D in chat, it's a little funky. I'm like, you know what, though? I kind of like the overall thing. But yeah, this is
just
just
sort of
AI.
chat show. It's just
A
a debate
debate.
style. It's not a podcast. It's a debate style. It's like, how do you debate? Oh,
We're
I debate like
debating
Soto
with
Chat Show.
style.
A debate style. Oh my
Oh.
God. Oh, I need this on a shirt, man. It's just so nonsensical.
Oh, I don't know if
I
I
love it.
told you this. For Christmas, Keely got me our logo, like the one that says basically our pictures. It's the one with that purple background and stuff like that. But on the front it's
Yeah.
us, and on the back it's like says Soto and Chad, stuff like that. Yeah, you can make. I mean, if you really want this, you can make it. I mean, we got a lot of funny pictures that we've gone throughout this time. But yeah, every podcast I try to get different logos just because it's whatever we're talking about for that day, from
Hmm.
iconic movies, Star Wars and shit like that. So but anyhow, for our last dumb debate, and this isn't really going to be a dumb debate, I think this is just more of a question and a discussion.
Yeah.
But earlier this year, both Best Buy and Target have stopped selling their DVDs and Blu-rays, which
I
is kind of a big
saw.
deal.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people, probably have bought this, or at least I haven't. I know there's still collectors and stuff like that, but I have a lot of stats I'm going to give you throughout this, and things I researched. But in your gut feeling, I guess this is a two-part question. Is this officially the end of physical media? Is physical media dead? And then a follow-up question is there a way or a possibility for physical media to make a comeback? What do you think? Is physical media dead, in
If
general?
it's not dead, I think it's dying. Like, right now, me and Sarah are trying to figure out where the fuck to put all of our DVDs that we don't fucking watch, or our Blu-rays that we don't fucking watch, because we just turn on a streaming thing now. It's like easier to be like, where is this on streaming? I don't want to dig it out of the fucking cabinet and put it into the fucking PlayStation 5. If it's on streaming, just stream it.
Hmm.
And then you got to find space for all this stuff, dude. And it's like, it just doesn't like work. Um, so I don't know. I mean, who the fuck buys CDs? Are CDs a thing still? Do people actually buy compact discs?
They're still out there, but speaking of which, that's one of the fun facts I have for you. So No, because I was very curious about this, like when a lot of this have peaked and stuff like that. And so I was kind of looking up all the formats. Yes, CDs are still a thing, kind of like probably obviously like DVDs. They're still out there, but in a way, so CD sales peaked in 2002. That's when like
Oh
they had
man.
no, but that's when they had the most units sold. Because here's the interesting thing: what came out in 2001? The original iPod was released in 2001, so that is
Oh
why.
yeah.
So the following, that's when pretty much CDs peaked, and then obviously a lot of people are just buying songs instead of albums. But every year since 2002, they have declined every year. But here's the funny thing that you said this, and this is more the stat I want to share as far as CDs go. The last 2 years, 2022 and 2023,
Hmm.
vinyl records outsold CDs.
Oh, I'm not surprised at all. Vinyl
But
records
just
are still cool.
just the last 2 years. So basically, up until this, I think it only happened once early on when CDs first started. But this is the last 2 years, vinyl records have outsold CDs. So that should tell you pretty much. But here you they are cool, but they are bigger. You talk about not having space. you know,
Well, the thing with vinyl like records that I think that, would be a way forward for physical media to come back is that like you have to like vinyl records still provide a sound that is not really easily duplicated in digital. So if you want to kind of like, so I think people buy more of like the things that are like classic or cool, like, I don't know, Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA or whatever. Um, I think people will buy those kind of vinyls because again, you cannot get that from Spotify. You just can't get that sound. And having a vinyl is cool. It's got like great artwork and everything like that. It's just a really cool vibe. But a laser disc doesn't have better fucking fidelity than a fucking Blu-ray. So I'm not
True.
gonna go get a laser disc of. Although I should buy the Laserdisc editions of the fucking original Star Wars, not to bring Star Wars back into this, but just so that's probably where it is. But the like, because it's like it's just not like there's not a better experience, so there's no reason to do it. Whereas vinyls, again, like they even make them into cool colors and shit like that when they make them, and like they're not just like a musical piece; they're also a conversation piece. Nobody's ever going to say that with a fucking CD. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah.
like that's for physical media to come back, something would have to be like VHS tapes will never come back because they're just getting worse and worse because they're magnetic. They're going to degrade, and the quality wasn't even that great to begin with. But they're never going to come back.
Well, when I say come
It's
back,
not.
I don't totally mean something that we've already seen. Like, let's just say they invent something, blah blah blah, and I don't know what, but there's something new that's more physical. Like, I don't know, maybe something that's smaller. That's what I mean. I know VHS never coming back. DVDs pretty much dead in my opinion. But
DVDs?
there's
Oh hell yeah! There's
they
no
are
reason to
still.
watch DVD.
Um, but yeah, Blu-rays, because now they got that ultra 4K Blu-ray, I think is like kind of the new thing. But even that,
Hmm.
not many people are buying it, but that's kind of the highest quality. But basically, yes, VHS and DVD are not coming back. But there,
But you're
I
saying
just
something
wait.
new.
Do you think something new could come along in any media, whether it's music, video game, or movies? Like, and is there something that could? Because you are correct. Physical. Let's put it this way, Soto. One of my last stats I want to just give you: 2023 video game revenue. 175 billion.
Oh yeah.
95% of that was digital.
Oh, absolutely.
Console gaming, 83% digital, 17% physical. Um,
Absolutely.
but the funny thing is, in 2023, mobile gaming was 51% of the total digital spending, meaning half of basically what was the
Wow.
money made, half of it pretty much it said like 90.4 billion came. So speaking about microtransactions, and so there might be some cool games actually on mobile then I just haven't looked. But yes, mobile gaming half of the digital, which I that's the one I found interesting. But yes, 95% out of all video games, is digital, and that includes DLCs, microtransactions, anything. But only 5% was physical. So I don't know. Like I
Wow.
said, but is there any way? Because there is collectors, and I know there's collectors. But like you, I actually packed away a lot of my books because I'm like they're taking up space, and I was trying to make room. I'm looking at. I
Yeah.
do have DVDs here, and I'm just like Because I'm like, I might as well box it up and just show off something else. So I don't think anything else. I say that, but there could be something, as far as physical media that comes around and people like, okay, but it have to be very convenient, and I don't know, something that just blows our mind that we can't even think of at the moment.
I
Excuse me.
can't. I can't even. I don't know, cause like even physical fucking games now take up your gigabytes on your goddamn fucking PlayStation.
Hmm.
So like if I was to get a game and it didn't do that, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool, that's an advantage. I'll get the physical copy so I don't have to store it on the PlayStation 5's limited fucking gigabytes. Um, but it doesn't. Like you put in a new game and it's like, all right, this is gonna be a 50 gigabyte install, and you're like, what the fuck? It's off. Just play it off the fucking disc. Why does it need to be installed? So I can't really think of any reason why physical media would come back. I think that train has left the station. Um, I don't see why. There's no like it costs. You're basically again, like I was saying earlier about business stuff. You're adding a cost to your production that you don't need. And if your digital like stuff is making more money than it costs to do the production thing, then you don't do the production thing. There's no need for it. Like you don't put physical media out there because it's like cheaper to do it on streaming. That's the
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody would be incentivized to. I don't know many companies that are incentivized to spend more money for no reason, other than purely nostalgic reasons. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like if they're making money the easy way, they're going to continue making money the easy way.
No, I agree, and I
You know?
I I did buy one physical game this year. We talked about this, Final Fantasy 16, because at the time when I finally was getting around to wanting to play this game and purchasing, I was waiting for a good sale because it had been a while, and I think I found it on Amazon cheap. It was like 20, and I'm like, fuck! It was actually cheaper for the physical copy than the digital. And I'm like, do I want to keep waiting until maybe digital comes around? I'm like, no, I really want to play this now. And that's the only reason I bought it. And plus, I know I can lend it to you afterwards. But
Of course.
but that's the thing, at least with digital, you delete it off your PlayStation, it's fine. We down the road, you're like, you know what, I can really play that game. I don't have to worry about if my disc is scratched. I don't have to worry about it's broken. Like, oh, who I lent it to, blah, 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 which that is a little bit of a benefit. But yeah, this is just going to sit here until I kind of box it away again.
Mm-hmm.
I without, it just surprised me. I mean, I guess I knew it was eventually going to happen, but yeah, the fact that Best Buy, just stopped selling DVDs and Blu-rays, basically stopped selling most of their physical movies. Just it
I
was
saw
crazy
it.
to me.
I was
And
just there.
yeah, and then I know Target, they did the same thing as well. So I was like, damn. I know Walmart still sells them. There's still a few places because some people will still buy them, but I don't know. Like you said, you can pretty much find the majority of this on streaming, or this is going to sound weird, or pay a buck or two and rent it somehow. You know,
Yeah. On
rentals.
like
Yeah.
some right, like on Amazon, like sometimes I'll be like, "Ooh, I don't know if I want to spend $2 on this." And
That should
it's
tell
like
you something.
I'm like, "Ooh, I don't know." Like I don't know if I want to $2 might be too much for me. And I'm like, "Dude,
It's two
like I go
bucks.
back to the Taco Bell thing. It's like I don't even think twice about spending fucking $20+ at Taco Bell. I just do it because I want chicken quesadillas." So like it's just like a weird how I'll just be like $2. I'll wait till it's free. Like two fucking dollars, man. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, to your point, you can find most shit anywhere, and if you really can't buy the physical thing because you know it's never gonna come out like in the United States, but most things fucking do. But the only problem with digital media is that you don't own it. So if you
Yeah.
don't own it, eventually somebody can take it away from you. But you know what? At the same time, I have 300 fucking games in my backlog. I'm not fucking kidding. And if somebody was like, "You're gonna lose the rights to all these video games," I'd be like, "Well, I wasn't playing them anyways."
I will admit that's the one thing and I don't even know if it's downloaded, like the PlayStation 3. I had bought a lot of the old Final Fantasies, 7, 8, 9, even like the
Mm-hmm.
anthologies. I wish I would have bought Luna, but it's like that didn't transfer over to the PS4.
Nope,
And I was
sure
like,
didn't.
holy shit. Because I was like, and the store is gone now. But then I'm like, well, why can't the store just why I could not comprehend why I couldn't run those games on my PS4 or now PS5 obviously. So I that's the thing. I I miss playing some old games, and there are some games I really wish I could replay, and that's the only thing. Like I wish digital was back then, and I wish they would find a way to put it in stores because they would make money. They would make so much money off of that
Hmm.
if they slowly did that. But
Oh yeah,
I can't
absolutely.
I can't see physical ever coming back. Unless we all become have robot chips in our brain, and you just plug it in like the Matrix, and like, oh, I just watched the new Axel Foley or Axel F movie, Beverly Hills Cop. That was great in like a second or something like that. Um,
Hell
but
no, I'm
then,
not gonna do that shit. I don't need to watch movies that bad. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't have a desire to consume media to the point where I need to have it installed in my fucking head. Like, I don't. It's not
oh,
like that. I don't even watch the shit I have right now. You know what
uh,
I mean? So it's like, there's no
yeah,
fucking way I would take that extra step. It's like, what Cynic was talking about. It's like, oh, like all these other innovations. It's like, okay, sure. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't see it. Like, I don't see it around the corner right now. You know what I mean? So, but again, like you said earlier too, you could be surprised. Like things come out that we had no idea about. And we're like, oh man, if I only could go back in time and like predict that this crazy thing was going to be it. You know what I mean? Like we didn't even know anything about COVID. Then COVID happened, and COVID changed basically like an entire industry of how we consume media. Because now streaming is huge. Because we all got so used to it during the COVID years.
yeah.
So we'll go from there. But yeah, ultimately I agree with you on this one.
Oh. All right, I think that kind of wraps up a lot of our discussions and stuff like that. There, debates, excuse me. And some guy who names himself Barack Obama says, "Hi everyone, do you have the original Frogger on disc or PC?" No, I don't even have a fucking PC, so the answer is no. But I do love Frogger. Um,
Yeah, Chad, the PC guy. It's where he watches all his movies, all the new ones. Every week they come out, he pirates them and he watches every single one.
oh yes,
He's
pirating.
connected. He's
Uh,
connected. Yeah.
I'm not connected to shit anymore. But so, any last, before we get going and see what maybe Mel and Tango are up to for Helldivers. Um,
Oh God, the death. The death.
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But anyhow, any quick discussions, debates, or questions? I shouldn't say debates because I know that you want to ask or kind of bring up last second before we wrap this up.
No, I think we had a very comprehensive discussion on a wide range of topics that went on multiple tangents. And yeah, no, I'm good.
All right.
I'm good. We have
Well,
so many other, like, pizza podcasts, but that's in the future.
we got a lot of things to plan for. We got this one through, so
True.
we do. I mean, we always do. We have so many ideas that we got to get to, and especially with
Yeah.
horror and Halloween coming around the corner. But
Oh yeah. Horror.
horror. But anyhow, thank
Horror.
anyone that is listening to this towards the end. Thank you all for
Thank
listening
you.
and joining
Yes.
us. If you're in the comments, some of you have come and gone, greatly appreciated.
Hmm.
Just letting you know, kind of a quick plug. We are going to be talking about or releasing that we've already actually talked about this. But Men in Tights, Robin Hood, Men in Tights. So, kind of a teaser of a Rotten Taste episode to come. But sub, right there. It's free. We're trying to hit 500. We've had a good couple months. We've had a nice little jump. It's been a while, but anyhow,
Yeah. Hell yeah.
yes. For those who lived in the 90s, we're watch out for this video. It's a great movie. But yeah,
Hmm.
Soto and Chad, I hope you enjoyed our dumb debates. And until next time, thank you all for joining us.
Yes. Thank you.